I've been keeping reptiles for 3 years and I've been living my dream. I have truly loved the experience of working with every species that I've had the opportunity to work with. That said, there are a few species of reptiles that are just my absolute dream to care for at some point. My name is Hunter Hauk, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my top 5 dream reptiles to keep. I'm going to be starting with number 5 and working my way up the list to my absolute dream reptile to keep. Exciting news, number 1 I'm actually getting very shortly, which is why I was so excited to make this video, because this has been my dream reptile since before I even had my own first pet reptile, and so to think that I'm about to get it is very exciting. A reptile species that I would absolutely love to work with in the future is the Argentine black and white Tegu. They're a very large teid, but for such a large lizard, they can be very calm and very personable. I had the privilege of meeting Ali or Alaska at Snake Discovery, and that just solidified in my brain that at some point I need to have a Tegu. They are super cool reptiles and I absolutely love them. Ideally, I'll get a Tegu as soon as I have a much larger space. They're huge lizards, so they need big enclosures. I'd also really like to adopt one because there are a lot of them that are in need of homes throughout the United States, and I would really like to do that because then I also wouldn't have to deal with like getting a baby enclosure, then a larger enclosure, then a larger until it's like full grown. I could just start off with a full grown one, so you know, that's always a pro. I definitely don't have the space for a black and white Tegu right now, so until I do, I'll just have to keep living vicariously through Zoe from ZA Reptiles and of course Emily and Ed from Snake Discovery, because they all have awesome Tegus. Leaf-tail geckos are absolutely, without a doubt, my dream geckos to keep. These are the Uroplatus genus, which is a large genus of leaf-tail geckos. They're called that because of how they look. Like, look at the pictures of them or videos or whatever's on the screen and you can see when they're moving still, you can see how they would be confused for a leaf. When I had the opportunity to spend the night at the Oregon Zoo in Portland, Oregon through a program that they did, I'm not sure if they still do it, but anyways, one of my favorite species, or probably my single favorite species that I saw, was the Uroplatus hinkeli, or Hinkle's leaf-tail gecko, and that has to be just because they are a reptile that I would love to keep in the future, but also because they are pretty big. They were super active at night. I don't know how many good pictures I got because it was kind of dark when I saw them, but yeah, they're just super awesome reptiles. It was awesome to see them. The whole genus is just a bunch of super cool geckos that look like they have leaf tails and moss instead of scales, so you can easily see, like, that's a great defense from predators if you want to mimic anything but what they're going to be eating. The genus also has a wide variety of sizes, so if I were to get like a Uroplatus fantasticus or satanic leaf-tail gecko, they're a lot smaller compared to my favorite member of the genus, probably the Uroplatus sakurae, which is the mossy leaf-tail gecko, which is just an absolute beautiful species of gecko. They're kind of hard to find for sale in captivity, especially captive bred, but when I do, I'll have to get one of these someday. It's definitely not a species that I want to work with right now, but it is definitely a dream long-term to keep leaf-tail geckos. Next, we have the Brooks kingsnake. Brooks kingsnakes are a subspecies of Lampripeltis getula, which may sound familiar to you because so are California kingsnakes and Mexican black kingsnakes. Specifically, I would love to keep a white-sided anerythristic Brooks kingsnake. I love how they have white sides, hence the name of the morph, or it's almost more of a pink side, really. But then they also have like normal looking eyes and a normal pattern on the top, which is super interesting. I always like how the white-sided morph plays out in whatever species it is, whether it's a king snake or a bull snake or whatever. They're all super cool, but the Brooks kingsnakes I absolutely love. That said, they are larger snakes, so I would definitely want to wait until I had more space, because just like with all my reptiles, I want to be dedicating as much space as possible to every individual. The Vietnamese blue beauty rat snake is, in my opinion, one of, if not the most beautiful snakes to ever exist. Vietnamese blue beauty rat snakes are so beautiful, and they're an old world rat snake, which makes them different than the North American rat snakes that we commonly see in captivity, such as Texas rat snakes and corn snakes and that type of thing. First of all, they are a lot bigger. They get 7 to 8 feet, and they're also a lot thicker around, which is cool. They're just a bigger bodied snake, and also they have different behaviors. For example, a defense thing that they do is when they're threatened, they kind of flatten out like this. Whereas North American colubrids often flatten out kind of cobra-like, if you will. Because they're so large, they need huge enclosures. I personally wouldn't want to keep one in anything less than a 6-foot enclosure, so that's why I don't have one right now. Someday when I have a much bigger reptile room, I will absolutely have 1 or 2 or several Vietnamese blue beauty rat snakes because I do absolutely love them, but until then, it's a good excuse to go back to the Snake Discovery Zoo and watch them in their huge enclosure. Pause the video right now and comment down below first what your absolute dream reptile is. If you could have one species of reptile, what would it be? And second of all, what do you think mine is? What do you think I'm getting for my next pet reptile that's also my dream reptile since before I even started keeping reptiles? Done. Okay, let's finish the video. Since at least a year before I got my first reptile, which was Peyton the leopard gecko, I have been obsessed with European legless lizards. They're so cool. They're a big lizard with no legs, but with, of course, all the other lizard characteristics. Wow, this is fascinating. I love how they have the lizard face, or very distinct lizard face.
Yeah, you either see it or you don't. Everyone here will see the lizard face, but when I explain it to the public at a program, I'm like, it has a lizard face. And they're like, what? No, it's a snake. I'm like, no, it's not.
You're like, no, look at the nostrils on the sides and the ears.
The eyes.
Yeah, the eyes, you can just... These lizards have a ton of common names, but their scientific name is, of course, well, depends on who you ask, either Ophisaurus apodus or Pseudopus apodus, but their common names range from sheltopusik to European legless lizard to European glass lizard to Pallas glass lizard, or if you're talking about them in the Russian part of their range, sheltopusik. I had to Google that one because I'm like, I see this a lot and I have no idea how to pronounce it, but that's what that is, in case you were wondering. The problem with them is that, as far as I'm aware, only 2 people outside of accredited zoos, so in the pet hobby, have been able to successfully captive breed sheltopusiks or European legless lizards or whatever you want to call them. Personally, I'm not comfortable purchasing a wild-caught reptile, especially if I don't think I'll be able to captive breed it either, since it is truly so difficult. So I have been waiting for probably 4 years for the perfect situation where I could either adopt one or take in one from a rehoming situation, and that's happening now. I'm a co-founder of Crimson Exotics, for those of you who don't know, which is a multi-state reptile rescue here in the United States, and we had someone reach out to us about taking in several reptiles and amphibians, and one of them was a sheltopusik, which was seriously so exciting. I decided, okay, I can foster some of them, but of course I've got to adopt the European legless lizard. They are my dream reptile. This is a perfect situation. I have all the knowledge. Now I just need to run out and grab some supplies, and now I'm all ready. So it comes in so 2 days. Wow, I'm so excited. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you want to see all of the upcoming European legless lizard videos, because this is an awesome animal and I definitely plan to make numerous videos about them. To say I am thrilled would be an understatement. Here is a photo of me right after I found out that this was all gonna work out. You can tell I'm super excited, like tears of joy. I want to thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed making it, definitely give it a thumbs up so even more people can enjoy it. Let's have a conversation down in the comments about what your dream reptiles are. You all always give me inspiration on these videos, so I want to hear what your favorite and dream reptiles are that you hope to keep someday. My new pet is already a little expensive and I haven't even welcomed it home yet. So if you want to help support my content, you can do that in a couple of ways. First off, if you want to check out Shop Hunter Hawk to get super cool designs such as this Peyton the Leopard Gecko design, the River the Bearded Dragon design, or the White's Tree Frog design. Definitely head to shop.hunterhawk.com. I really appreciate that, and it helps me continue making these videos. Or if you want to get awesome perks ranging from behind the scenes content to even stuff in the mail every month, you can go join my Patreon to get that and support the channel. I really appreciate it. All of that is linked below. Once again, my name is Hunter Hawk. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.